All right, good people, good morning and
Mhm.
welcome to our monthly call for Parks, Foundations, and Quality of Life Policy Committee. I'm Chair Stephanie Hancock. Joined with me is Councilmember Ruben Medina. The council goal is to create a superior quality of life for residents, making the city a desirable place to live and visit. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. I'm calling this meeting to order. We don't have an approval of the minutes as this is our first meeting of the year. So, yay, us.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
jumping in. Do we have any announcements from any of the team online? Okay, seeing none, we'll jump right into our agenda items, which first one is item 4A, the 2026 special event calendar. We have Beth Yacono. Oh, I
That's
hope I didn't
Very,
butcher
very
that.
good.
very good. Yeah.
Right
Recreation
on.
Superintendent. Yay, I got it right. Yay. Well, welcome. Let's
Thank
give
you.
us that special event calendar update.
All right, we do have a presentation. Lauren said she'd put it up there for me. There we go. All right, this is the 2026 special events proposed events that we're planning for this year to review with you. Next slide. Our event objectives and goals have remained the same. There hasn't been any changes. Just we're creating a superior quality of life for our residents, and of course making Aurora the desirable place to live and visit. We ensure that there's a diversity within our community members who can participate and benefit from all of our events that we are putting on. We want to try to appeal to a wide range of interest. We try to do that because interests are very wide. We create a positive impact and a sense of community for all of our participants. And all of these events are either free or low cost as a way of entertainment or attractions and activities for all. We build upon our partnerships within our local business communities and organizations. We create a community awareness for pros and all citywide programs, facilities, and services. And we incorporate our community to provide our feedback and input about us and the city. And we recognize and appreciate and celebrate our community as a whole. Next slide. Okay, we start off our event season with the Freedom Memorial Colorado Remembers. We work with the foundation of the Freedom Memorial and create this event. This is our 13th annual this year. And last year we celebrated our World War II vets. And this year I don't know the theme of it yet, but we're still planning on that, and it happens at the Freedom Memorial. Next slide. Aurora Fest. It was formerly known as Global Fest, so everybody can kind of make a connection. You'll start hearing more information about Aurora Fest, and they will not be using formerly known as Global Fest. That's about the last time you'll probably see that in print. They're just pushing out the new Aurora Fest name, and this is the 11th year that we've had this celebration to celebrate all of our culture in our community. If you haven't been, it's been a very fun event, and that'll happen on June 13th at the Great Lawn. Next slide. Then we'll roll into music at the movies. This is something that we coordinate with our other Department of Library and Cultural Services. They provide the music part of this, and we provide the music or the movies in the park. We have a LED screen that presents the movies, and it's a fun event for everyone in the family. Next slide. Our 4th of July spectacular. Even though we do have a furlough day leading up to that event, we will be having our 4th of July event in full, and it'll be on the Great Lawn. Next slide. We will be celebrating our mini-con. This is a little bit change in the mini-con because we will not be using the Great Lawn as the construction will happen after the 4th of July. So we're moving this to Expo Park. We still have some partnership with the Library and Cultural Services Department. Not as big of a footprint with them this year, but we're still providing the event for all of our people that are interested in all of the cosplayers and gaming and that type of activity. So MiniCon will still be going on. Next slide. We'll be continuing on to celebrate the fall. This used to be a fall into fun event if you were with our other events, but because we're kind of downgrading it a little bit and spreading it out between 2 weekends, we're bringing back what we called Pumpkins in the Park. And so we're still celebrating fall for all our family members to enjoy all the different things about fall, including pumpkins and all the different crafts and those type of things. Next slide. We will be celebrating our Veterans Day salute again at the Regency Hotel in Aurora, and this is a formal military recognition of all of our military and all the different service areas, and that will be happening in November. Next slide. And we will be coming back to the Great Lawn for our holiday tree lighting. Staff is keeping us informed about the construction to make sure that we'll still be able to have this event on the Great Lawn. So and we'll be celebrating all the holidays as we do. Next slide. This is an at a glance of everything for the year. We have the major events starting off the season with the Colorado Remembers, Aurora Fest, and then 4th of July, but we're still continuing all our events throughout the year. So that's at a glance. Next slide. And then here's where the events are particular in each ward. We do make an effort to try to make sure that we spread our events throughout the entire city, making sure that we connect with each ward. Ward 3 has the majority of the events because if we have them on the Great Lawn, that's kind of all in Ward 3, but they're spread out throughout the entire city. This time, is there any questions about any of the events?
Well, thank you for that presentation. And that's kind of nice to see that everything's spread out throughout all the wards. I tried to attend most of those events last year, Movies in the Park in Ward 4. That was pretty cool. And seeing Aurora Dance Arts and the tree lighting and all that MiniCon. I took my grandkids to MiniCon. They kind of enjoyed that. So I'm really glad to see the variety of activities that we're hosting. On the Great Lawn, we're replacing the turf. That's what's happening, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. How long, Brian, do you expect that should take?
Sure. So the reason it's very specific timing. We're replacing bluegrass in the Great Lawn with Tahoma 31, which is Bermuda grass. So different species of turf grass. And so the planting window for Bermuda grass is really when it's the hottest out, which is kind of the opposite of bluegrass. Bluegrass we want to plant in the spring or the fall, but Bermuda grass we want to sod that in when it's really hot. So right after the 4th of July event, we're going to lead up to that. We're going to get all the way through the event season on the Great Lawn through the 4th of July event, and then we have moved everything after that. So that new sod will take time to establish. We are anticipating that it'll be back to its dormant condition by the time we have the holiday tree lighting. And that event, as you remember, it's very, very concentrated up here right against the AMC building. So on the hard surfaces is where most of the activity happens there. So we feel we can get that one in. So we'll be back in 2027 with all of our events on the Great Lawn that we had before, likely, if all goes well, which we think it will.
Okay, sounds good. Councilmember Medina, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. With that said, then we will move on to 4B, consideration to approve a resolution for grant funding. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. To go to study session for full council approval. So who is doing that presentation?
That would be me.
All right, let's jump in and start swimming.
Awesome, fantastic. And I also have a presentation that is being brought up. Oh, wonderful, awesome. Well, how is everybody? Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. My name is Joy Thompson. I am the Natural Resources Supervisor. I run the Naturalist program, so we run the nature centers, and we are the education and outreach branch of the Open Space and Natural Resource Division. And what I'm here today to ask about is to approve funding for the Generation Wild program. And I believe that many on this call are familiar with Generation Wild. If you're not, I'm just going to go through really quickly some of the background of that. So next slide, please. So what is Generation Wild? So Generation Wild is a program that is funded through Great Outdoors Colorado, or GOCO, excuse me, which is of course lottery money, and GOCO has funded quite a few projects in parks and open space throughout the state of Colorado. And we received quite a few GOCO dollars. And in the 2016-2017 timeframe, GOCO did a study with University of Colorado. And the study was basically to find out why certain groups of people are not spending a lot of time in the outdoors. And some of the results of the studies that came back were, these are areas, the areas where people were not spending a lot of time in the outdoors were areas of pretty persistent poverty. And what people were saying was going outside into nature, going to Aurora Reservoir, kayaking, going camping, doing things like that, that's for people who have more money and more time than I do. And so what the goal of Generation Wild is to do is to show people that the outdoors and nature is for everybody, that we all benefit when we spend time in the outdoors and nature. And when there is a thriving nature program in natural areas, we have a thriving population. So GOCO went to different nature education and outdoor recreation providers and said, hey, we want to provide you with some money in the form of a grant. It was originally called Inspire, and then they changed the name to Generation Wild a few years ago. And they said, we want you to apply for this grant, but we don't want you to apply by yourself. We want you to apply as a coalition. So what we want you to do is get together with other nature education and outdoor recreation providers in your area and get together as a coalition and apply together. So that's what we did. We are part of a group called the Northeast Metro Coalition, which includes some groups such as ELK, or Environmental Learning for Kids, Commerce City Parks and Recreation, Bluff Lake Nature Center, Sand Creek Regional Greenway, and City and County of Denver. And we applied as a coalition. And so in 2017, we received funding that took us through 2020. We were able to get a lot of kids and their families outside. And then, of course, 2020 COVID hit, but GOCO said, hey, this has been such a successful program, we want to continue to fund it anyway. So we applied for a second round of the grant. We did receive that. And then GOCO said, well, we're actually going to make this a permanent addition to our grant repertoire so people can continue to apply for this grant. But that was in 2023. And they couldn't approve their master plan until 2025. So they gave us money during the interim time for 2024 and 2025. Now we're in the 2026 through 2030 cycle, and we're applying for the grant money for that. So if we could have the next slide, please, Lauren. So what do? We get kids and their families outside through all of these things that you see here, and then some. Some of the really popular programs that we do with the City of Aurora through this grant are the kayaking out at Aurora Reservoir, hiking and biking at some of the different places in Aurora open space. Swimming is a really popular one. We actually just started a whole swimming program up at Moorhead Recreation Center with the recreation folks up there. Wildlife watching, water exploration, nature art, and we started a new mindfulness program this year too, using nature to connect and to kind of calm down in today's rather crazy society. So the whole idea is get people outside and show them the benefits of spending time in nature. So next slide. So what are some of the outcomes? Well, the outcomes is we've been able to see a lot of people and connect a lot of people with nature and the outdoors. These are just a couple of comments from the past year. Some of the teachers and some of the facilitators who said, hey, this was a wonderful program. We really enjoyed it. And so since 2017, we've been able to connect with over 34,000 kids and family members. And the really cool thing about that is if you look at 34,000, it might not look like a huge number on the outside, but a lot of these are repeat people. So people that are coming back again and again and are starting to consistently spend time in Aurora open space and to be able to be part of the value that comes from spending time in nature. Next slide, please. So what are the next steps? So like I said, at 2017 through 2020, we received grant funding in the form of almost $114,000. 2020 through 23, it was slightly less, but we were able to continue our program. 24 through 25 was the interim. And so we got roughly 36,000 for both of those years. So the next is 2026 through 2030. And with that one, if I could get to the next slide. Oh, thank you. Perfect. We actually came to council last year to ask for permission to apply for the grant, and we received permission. We did apply. We have received the grant. Now my ask is for us to be able to use it to go forward and to continue to do this program through 2030. And so what my ask is going to be is if this could be moved forward to study session. I believe that's the next right step. If not, please let me know. Does anybody have any questions about this program?
Well, that was a terrific presentation. And as a beneficiary of being with the open space folks going over to the Jewel wetlands and exploring that area, that was so cool walking around there. And they were so knowledgeable talking about all the benefits and the native grasses and all those nifty things. And as a person who grew up in the city, it was kind of nice as a kid. I remember going out to camp and being around cows and horses and all that kind of thing, and it really just changed my perspective. It's different when you're in person than seeing it on television. It's kind of cool. Very well done. And Councilmember Medina, you have any thoughts that you want to add?
No, I think it's a great program. As you know, I've been part of pros for a long time as well. And yeah, I think that the more we can get young people out in the outdoors, I think it helps with a lot of different things. It also reflects back to school as well. I think it helps to calm a lot of kids, get them more, involved in different activities that they would normally be in cities. And so as someone who grew up kind of in a rural area, I certainly appreciate that today and, continue to do that with my grandchildren and children. And so a vital piece of, things that we could do for our young people. So thank you.
And so that was going to be my next question, Councilmember Medina. Do you approve us moving this forward to study session? I'd just say take it straight to the floor, but since we got to do this, okay, we will. I am very grateful that of your efforts to secure this funding so that we can continue this really, for kids and families. This is a vital program, and so I'm very excited about the work you're doing, and I approve as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome. Awesome sauce. Let's go to my next excited agenda item, the Utah Park pool updates. Let me have it, Brian.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Councilmember Hancock. There's a couple of us are going to present today. So Winter Steger prepared the presentation, but he's not available to be here today. So I'm going to take this part of the presentation for him. This is the update on the Utah pool, specifically part of this item. And you and I have spoken a couple times, Councilmember Hancock, so you're pretty aware, but for everyone else, Utah pool had some significant repairs necessary this year. And so it's taken it offline for most of a year. And we are very much looking forward to being able to reopen it this spring, hopefully the very beginning of April. Next slide, please. Thank you, Lauren. So in March of 2025, the water supply line that goes to feed the pool from outside the building ruptured and required repairs. And during the water line repair, it was also determined that the natural gas supply line, the line coming in that feeds the heater and the furnace and the pool heaters and all those things, was also 40 plus years old and needed to be replaced. So that's what initially took the pool offline. Well, while we were doing those, while Public Works and their contractors were doing those repairs, what we saw was the level of the pool kept going down, indicating there was a leak in the main part of the pool. So we began looking into what that might be, and we determined that the old cast iron pipes under the pool, kind of similar to what we were seeing with Beck Pool, um, the actual main piping lines were cast iron, and they were deteriorated to the point that they were unsalvageable. We couldn't just fix a leak in one spot. They were leaking in many spots. So that launched a much larger repair and redesign uh, project where we had Public Works involved and pool builders from across the country looking at this. And what we determined was that we should be able to repair that line, the main drain line under the pool that you see there in the picture at the very bottom of the deep end there. That's what returns the water to the filter room, so it can be filtered, treated, and then it comes back to the pool. So that line, we were able to line it with a PVC liner. So a specialized company was hired to come in and insert a lining in that drain line, which is kind of a similar thing that you see happen with the sanitary sewer lines along through the city, where they'll reline those main lines rather than having to dig up and replace a line that's old and compromised. So that was successful. That was the big thing that was scaring us, was if that process wasn't successful, we were going to be in a much worse situation. Well, we found out about a month ago that they were successful in salvaging that line by lining it with a new PVC liner, and that's going to allow us to make sure we can make that April date. That was the biggest question mark. So you can also see in that picture, in the top picture, that there's kind of a scaffold all the way around where the entire gutter system is being rebuilt. So it's a brand new custom gutter system that's being installed. And that took a long time to fabricate. All those materials are on site right now, and they're welding that all together. So it's very specialized stainless steel welds and lots of inspections and things that have to happen. So it takes a little while, but that brand new gutter system will now replace the lines under the pool that used to bring the water back from the filter room. So the main drain takes it to the filter room, and then this other set of lines brings it back to the pool. And Councilmember Hancock, since you swim that a lot, you can see those in the bottom of the pool where the water returns back. Well, this new gutter system will handle that function. It'll catch water and also return it to the filter room, but it will also return that clean, filtered, treated water back to the pool so that we're not coming up through the bottom of the pool anymore. So this redesign and will make this should set this pool up for a long life after this work is done. And the other benefit that it will provide is we'll now be able to line the pool with a PVC liner, a brand new, shiny, beautiful PVC liner. So right now it's a plaster bottomed pool, and that has to be redone every couple of years or every few years. You drain the pool and you do this. The new PVC liner is expected to last 10 to 15 years, and it'll just look a lot brighter, and it'll be a better experience. And the bottom picture there, you see the brand new slide that we installed actually a year ago, and we were ready to open it when all these other problems found out. So we have this brand new slide, so that'll be part of our reopening efforts. When we reopen to the public, the new slide will be available. The pool will be refreshed and functioning. A lot of the stuff is below ground and behind the scenes that you don't see, but it's about a $2.3 million total project that we expect to be completed at the end of March. And then once we know the exact date, we'll get a public reopening celebration planned, and want to really kind of have a splash, so to speak. So next slide. I think, was that it for me? I think that was my only yes, that was my own main slide. I'm going to hand it over to John Sawatsky. He's the landscape architect and the supervisor of all of our design teams, and he'll tell you about the basketball courts that we're eagerly anticipating as well, just right across the park. John?
Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Moving on again to more of Utah. So this is the basketball court project. I'm going to give you a quick update on where things are at out there. If you haven't seen it already, they're there, totally visible already. But I can certainly give you a quick update on that. So construction is approximately 85% complete, you might say. That means that the courts are in. They're all can be fully functional. We have them temporarily striped right now, but they are locked. As you know, this court situation, these courts are located on the south side of the park, just across from Overland High School and Prairie Middle School. Okay, sort of sandwiched between the two. It sits just north of the walkway, and it sits about, I would say 3 feet lower than the adjacent grades. So we had to set them in there to kind of a low profile, but yet still visible from the street. It includes 2 full-size basketball courts, and it is enclosed completely by an 8-foot high chain link fence with a lockable gate. So just more of an update on the next piece of this. I did put on here that we anticipate in May of 2026 this year to install your acrylic court surfacing. So that's that layer that you see, that blue and green. Right now it's temporarily striped, so it looks like just plain concrete with white stripes. We will be adding 4 new trees, as you can see on the right-hand side there of those courts. And we are, weather permitting, going to be seeding those areas that have been disturbed with the cool season grass that's there already, which is bluegrass. So that's the update on what's happening in the spring. We do anticipate opening the courts on an interim basis once our solar security lights are installed. And those are going to be coming. So I've been told that they have shipped. They're coming from out of state. So they will be here, I'm told, next week and installed next week by the end of the week. So stay tuned on that. That's a further update. So we have the caissons installed and the poles are there, but we're just waiting on these light fixtures. So once the light fixtures come in, the contractor has assured me that they're going to move on it and get the lights fixtures installed and working, and then we can open the courts up, hopefully by the end of next week, okay? Next slide, please. All right, there we go. And this shows you some pictures of what the left slide there is the main entrance. We have some picnic tables, some litter receptacles, a bench, and just a place for people to gather. And then you see those boulders, those are like a seat wall as well. And then the next slide there to the right, this picture is on the south side of the courts. You can see the goals, the basketball goals are in, the backboards, etc. And there's a little path on the right-hand side. That's the new maintenance gate. So it's a double wide gate for maintenance access into the courts as well. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this. If you want to go to the next slide, please. Yeah, all right. That's it for the basketball courts. There was a quick update on that. This is the replacement of the tennis courts. I just wanted to make note that this area is also referred to as the Woody M. Smith Tennis Center at Utah Park. All right, so we are going to be completely replacing these 9 courts that you see here. This area is obviously just to the east and southeast of the indoor pool. You may be familiar with that already. There's going to be new, completely replaced courts. Take out the old, in with the new, and it's going to include new overhead LED lighting. As you may know, that the lighting that was there was in very, very poor shape and had to be removed. So that's going to have some new LED lights all around the courts as well. Currently, we're in the final design, so we're getting close to final design documents, CDs, if you will. These are the construction documents that we'll use to bid the project, and it's currently in the process of being submitted for internal, what we call our civil Amanda review process. We anticipate bidding the project this year, toward the second quarter of this year as well. And I just want to point out that we show there in the left side, you can see there's 4 pickleball courts. So those pickleball court enthusiasts are going to have a place to play. We're going to bid it as an alternate. Okay, so we're going to get a separate price for it. It includes those 4 pickleball courts, which currently are in the place right now. There's a basketball court there now. That's in pretty poor shape, obviously. So these courts will replace that, and it will include the lighting. So these courts will be lit as well. next, okay, so the next piece of this information I wanted to give you, besides the pickleball courts, is the project anticipated cost. So currently we're coming in at about $4 million. And that includes a grant that we received from Arapahoe County Open Space for $600,000. So we were very appreciative of that grant as well to help partially fund this project. So we're looking forward to it, and it's moving quickly, and we should have some new courts for you wrapped up by the end of this year. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you.
Well, that's just fabulous. We've got our pickleball enthusiasts that have been desperately and with bated breath waiting for our own pickleball courts over at Utah Park. So I'm glad that you've included that in the design. Let me just ask you, out of the $4 million anticipated cost, are there any other grant funding opportunities that you are aware of that we've applied for to help pay for this?
Yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah, I can field this one. Thanks, Councilmember Hancock. My name is Nicole Ankeny. I'm the manager of planning, design, and construction. So I oversee the design group. We did look into a grant with the U.S. Tennis Association. Unfortunately, the requirements in their process didn't enable us to move forward. But because we're trying to do this on a quick timeline, we have not sought any other grant funding. With the cycles that we have at hand, sometimes the renovation projects, especially like a tennis court replacement, can be a little bit more challenging to get funding for. Some of that has to do with the way that public engagement occurs. We all know, if you've been to Utah, you're well aware these courts really need replacement. But we didn't perform a lot of public engagement specifically here, only because it's fairly clear that they need to be replaced. So in that case, we didn't do a lot of exterior or external public engagement. So sometimes granting bodies want to see more questions, and when you're doing new design on what you might be able to change in a design, like a lot of your playgrounds and so forth, they're much more suited for that type of a public engagement. The other thing on this project is we're trying to really turn this around in quick fashion. And so the timelines don't always line up with the grant timelines. Most of your granting bodies either have 1 or 2 sessions per year where they allow you to apply for grants.
Okay. Why do we pick 9? Why do we pick 9 courts as opposed to 6?
Essentially, we're replacing with what is there now, and we
So we
also
have 9
have
courts there now? I
Yes.
didn't realize we had 9 there now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
6
play
would have been-
tennis. I'm terrible at sports, but okay. So we have 9 there now. Okay. Fantastic. So it's going to
And
be a
this-
nice, clean, expansive. And I remember those lights. Well, I remember when they had to be removed because they were a real safety hazard. So I have folks who come to my town halls, and I know, Brian, you'll be coming to my next town hall to give this great news to our constituents. They're very excited about us, getting the tennis courts back up and running. So it's kind of nice that we're going to have the basketball courts on one end and the tennis and the pickleball kind of together. That's for flow, that's going to be really nice. And I walk that park, I swim that pool. I don't play tennis, but I like to watch them. It's really cool. I'm very excited about the progress that we're making. And Utah Park, correct me if I'm wrong, it's what, 55 years old, that pool?
Right at 50 years old. Yes.
Yeah. And it supported the high school for many, many years.
Yeah.
So,
that's another point about the 9 tennis courts, is it does support a lot of, this is our main tennis programming center where our recreation staff can program tennis programs, tournaments. These support high school tournaments as well. So that's another reason for the 9. You kind of need that many to really have a big program that's not just spread out across 10 parks. You have an actual tennis, kind of a tennis concentration here. So
and
that
there'll
was
be
important to
seating
maintain.
built in too. There'll be bleachers and all that.
Yes.
No
Very
bleachers.
little. No,
Very
no
little.
bleachers. Yeah.
So the tournaments will pretty much be for the players, not for spectators then.
Yeah, and there's typically people line up around the outside and stuff and watch, and when we do have those kinds of events. But yeah, it's not like Wimbledon, but it's it's what we it's what we do in terms of community recreation tournaments.
Got
and things, yeah.
Because I noticed that there were some, where people could, observe, spectators could see, at least a minimal amount of that. And then we have the baseball diamonds right, uh,
Yeah.
east of there. So we've got a lot of sporty type things happening over there at Utah Park. So not too shabby, guys. Councilmember Medina, do you have any questions?
All good things. Question I guess I have is, have we thought about making this a full-size center?
There have been conversations about that in the past. So, I mean, that's been floated at different times. Full-size centers are extremely expensive, and so that's be very funding dependent. I think
Curious.
think that, yeah.
I know that I had a conversation with Laura Perry last year about this because I would have loved to, seen like the front part where the pool entrance is. She showed me some schematics and design ideas about having that front area extended to add a conference room type area or classroom type area on the front and some other things there. And she said it was going to be a pretty expensive process. Maybe we could raise our own money and do it. I mean, have a public-private partnership of some sort. I mean, I think we should start thinking out of the box with these kind of things because Ward 4 does not have a rec center. And the fact of the matter is that Utah Park gets used heavily. I mean, when it shut down, people were not happy when it shut down. Because I myself, I swim 3 to 5 times a week in that pool. So I'm like really disappointed that I couldn't, get in the pool, understanding the rationale and why it had to happen. And we're going to have a much better, more beautiful facility going forward. But to your point, Councilmember Medina, I don't think that is a idea that's totally off the table. We just have to figure out how we're going to pay for it.
Yeah. No, I'd like to explore it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely in my mind. It's been in my mind since I've been in office. So I'm like, yeah, Ward 4 needs a rec center too. I went over to Central and I did have rec center envy. And Moorhead is pretty nice too. And of course, out there in Southlands, out there where Councilmember Bergen's rec center is, they're all pretty fancy schmancy. And the thing about ours is we have that established footprint. So we can't have a big honking thing without doing major demolition over there. And so it'd be great for us to find a way to expand on what we have and on that footprint. It may not be as big as the others, but something akin to having a multi-purpose recreational space. It should be something we should at least visit again, and let's look at trying to find some ways to do a public-private partnership where we perhaps could get some, private funding sources. I'm saying to the other people, to staff back there, wink, wink, wink.
Yes, ma'am.
To figure out a way that we could, have some naming rights. We'll name this after you. Give us a couple $1 million. We would love that, So I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. And if anybody who's listening online, any public folks who listen later, if you got some ideas, we're open to them. We are open because we want Ward 4 to be right up there with a beautiful recreation center that everyone can enjoy too. So thank you so much for that presentation. Appreciate the updates. Looking forward to having you at my next town hall so that we can give all the deets to our.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening at Utah Park, Utah Pool collectively that is coming together all right now in this year and a half from now. It's really going to change Utah Park and really freshen it up and make it really a vibrant center for tennis, a center for swimming, for aquatics. And the basketball courts over there near the schools is going to be very, very popular. We had the little 1/2 court there. Now we have 2 full courts right adjacent to it. It's really a lot of investment in the last couple of years to get to this point where we could really celebrate Utah Park and what it is for the community.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing because having been a longtime resident in this area, it gets heavily used. I mean, people enjoy that park. They use it quite a bit. Even now, walk the walk trail around the park, all of that. And the Jewel Wetlands is just up the block there. So everything's in close proximity to that area. The high schoolers using, being able to use the state-of-the-art tennis courts and those groups that participate in those kind of things. I know it's going to be again, a huge asset to the Ward 4 community and will be heavily used. I'm just wondering with the high school opening their own pool house now, we will be able to amp up our offerings of aquatic events for seniors, kids, etc. You're anticipating that
All the
to be
above. Yep.
ramped up significantly?
Yeah, there used to be a significant time allotment that was allotted to the school program that we won't have to do that anymore. So it'll free up lane time. It'll free up just pool hours that we can program otherwise. So yeah, we'll be looking at it. It'll look different. Schedules will probably look different than what you remember from a couple of years ago, but we certainly want to accommodate our aquafit groups and those are some of the most just faithful. They come all the time, right? They get into an aquafit routine and boy, they're there all the time. So, and our lap swimmers and then of course, being able to have Utah back for our swim lessons and our swim teaching programs is really going to be important. We've had to shove all that to Moorhead and Central. And really, we need this back so that we can accommodate all the swimming lessons for the little guys and girls.
Yeah. Yes, I anticipated it to be a huge, revenue generator for us as people. They are faithful users, and having been one of those faithful users myself, having to wait for lanes, it's like, okay, hurry up, you did your 30 minutes, get out, I want to get in, So now we'll have our 14 lanes to be able to swim in. So this will be really, really cool. Well done. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony. I'm making a big deal. We'll have a band and everything. No.
An aquatic band.
I have an aquatic band. Well, me, Brian, and Councilmember Medina will have our kazoos out there.
There you go. There you go.
And we'll go ahead and have the grand opening. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So now we're looking at, in addition, 4D, the agenda item summary. Is that you also, Brian?
Yeah, I'll take that. So the agenda item summary. So Councilmember Hancock, we went through this with you when we found out that you were our new chair and went through all this, but we typically like to provide this as an agenda item so that it's in the record of kind of what the council committee met on in the previous year, kind of a look back, but then also kind of that helps us kind of understand what we need to anticipate going forward. Mostly here, this is for Councilmember Gardner's benefit since he hasn't been on this committee for a few years. Councilmember Medina was at all these meetings, so he's well aware of them, but I just wanted to put it up here in case you had any questions following our brief run through of it the other day, and for Councilmember Gardner's benefit. So if there's no questions, really, it was just a list of
just for information,
the different resolutions that we went through last year so that they're kind of familiar. I know a question came up during the week about why we had some minutes from like last April attached to this meeting invite, and that was because it threaded together that Generation Wild GoCo funding when we asked for permission. Now it's the resolution to actually sign the grant agreement for the money. So that was just kind of what we thought this would be good to get in the record for everybody.
Okay, great. Councilmember Medina, anything that you need to add here?
No, I'm all good. Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, we had a detailed overview in our meeting about this, and it looks like you guys, this committee was quite busy last year getting a lot of things done. And, for the quality of life of our city, Parks Foundation, I mean, it's in our title, Parks Foundation Quality of Life. I mean, I love a good park. Love being able to go outside. And, again, as I said, for somebody who grew up in the city and with a lot of our urban communities who may not even be aware of all the beautiful parks that we have in this city. We are so green. We have so many good places to go and in our city and experience. And with that said, if you haven't received the newsletter for this month from City of Aurora, I would ask you to go out online and check that out, because it's telling you a lot about the things that are going on in our community, keeps you abreast. And I know sometimes we send things in the water bill and it goes promptly in the trash, but you need to just take a look at these, because it lets you know all the free, fun things, family oriented things, single oriented things, people oriented things that we're doing in our community that are free, that you could take advantage of. So thank you. That's really good. I appreciate that wrap up there. Is there anything else that you needed to add there?
Nope, not on this item. I think there's a couple more things on the agenda.
Okay, we have miscellaneous matters for consideration. What do we have in the pipeline? Anything?
I don't think we have any matters for consideration. I did want to mention to everyone on the call, and especially the council members on the call, that we are doing our first public meeting tonight about the master plan amendment for Signature Park. So Signature Park is a big piece of land over adjacent to Buckley Air Force Base at Alameda and Buckley Airport, right? So where Buckley becomes airport there. So that has been a parkland that has been undeveloped. It's been in our system for many years, and we need to update the master plan so that we can hopefully move forward with actual implementing a concept that people agree or are excited about. So tonight is our first public meeting where we'll be seeking that first level of public engagement on what can we do, what should we do, what might be possible at Signature Park. So I would invite everybody to come to, it's at the Central Library Community Room, correct, Nicole? You're gonna have to correct me if I make any mistakes, and it's at 6 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
So we have a design consultant that's worked up some beautiful boards that kind of lay out the possibilities, and we'll be presenting. They'll be presenting. We will be presenting to the public tonight.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I hope it's well attended and people get good information there.
Nicole has her hand up. I must have made a mistake.
Oh, no. I just wanted to mention, I'd be happy to send, we do have an engage page for this project, so I would be happy to send that out to the group if that is desired.
I desire that. Send it out. We'd love
Thank
that.
you.
I'm desiring of information. Whenever there's some, I want it. Yeah.
One other thing, Councilmember Hancock, I would like, we didn't at the front of the meeting invite everybody to introduce themselves that's on the meeting. Would you care to have our managers introduce themselves? Because this is your first meeting with us.
Oh, sure. There are some folks, some
that?
faces I know and some I don't.
Yeah.
So for the benefit of, and let's just get it on the record, everybody.
Okay.
Let's do that real quick.
So Nicole had a chance to introduce herself. She's the manager of planning, design, and construction. And I would ask that, let's see, who's next? Adrian, I'm going to just go down my list here.
Hello, Council Hancock and Council Medina. I'm Adrian Camacho. I'm the manager of Open Space and Forestry. I think I met both of you in our Open Space Board meetings. So welcome and looking forward to working with you.
And Matt looks like he's next on my screen.
Matt Krebsbach. I am the manager of Parks Operations, started back in September.
Matt's been with us for many years. He's run the sports park and other portions of the operations division, and he stepped up to be our new manager. So welcome, Matt. Thank you. And Brooke is a familiar face, but she's on the call there too. You don't want to introduce yourself, Brooke? Okay. Tom, how about Tom? I see his smiley face there.
Hi, good morning. Tom Tully. I'm the manager of business services, which is budget, payroll, AP, phones, that stuff.
And you got to meet. So we have on the call, we have Letitia Callanan. She's our manager of strategic planning for the whole city. She's on here with us, and I see there she is on camera. You guys probably know her. Beth Yucano presented on as one of our recreation superintendent in charge of the group that puts on the special events. Joy Thompson presented about our open space and our Generation Wild program. Let's see, Anessa, would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, of course. Good morning. Anessa Janes. I'm the Deputy Director of Parks, Open Space, and Forestry. I came on board in October, and I'm here to support this wonderful team of professionals, as well as our city council members. So good to meet you.
Yep, Anessa filled the role that I was in prior to becoming director. So thank you, Anessa. Laura, everybody knows Laura.
Hi, Laura.
And Kim Skaggs representing the city attorney's office. Chris Ryan, would you introduce yourself?
Good morning, council members. My name is Chris Ryan. I'm the new Deputy Director for Recreation and Golf. And I am 3 months old, a couple weeks after Anessa got here. So absolutely thrilled to be here. And council member Hancock, I look forward to meeting you in person Monday when we visit our preschools. Thank you for having me.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, that is coming right up on Monday.
Yes,
I'm
it
looking forward
is.
to that as well.
I love little children. They're great.
Yes, they are. They're the best of what we do. Let's see, Ted Bryant, I see you.
Yes, good morning, council members. I'm Ted Bryant. I'm the manager of marketing and communications here in Pros. I'm among the newer crowd as well. I'm in my 7th month here at the city, and looking forward to working with you.
Yep. Ted is doing an amazing job of motivating and organizing and his team of marketing and communications folks. If you don't follow our social media channels, I highly encourage that as well. Councilmember Hancock and Medina to follow us on Instagram and Facebook or whatever your favorite social media channel is. They're doing a great job of injecting humor and really trying to make things most relevant to our followers. So it really encourages that, keep you very much up to speed on anything new happening with us. So I think that is all I had for now.
It's great to see you, Brooke, even though you didn't say anything. Good
She
to
waved
see
and
you.
smiled.
See,
It's nice to see you all. Thank you.
I know who you are. Well, thank you all for what you do to help our parks and quality of life in this city function. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you for all your hard work and the things that you do contribute to, the things you're behind the scenes, and most people don't even know who you are, but they do feel what you do when they go to our parks and our open spaces and the golf courses and out there at the reservoir and all those fun things that keep our city going and make it the beautiful city that it is. I think, with all the committees, it's important for us to tell our own story. And I'm glad that you are, your social media pages are active, but it's really incumbent upon us to continue to let people know that this is available to them and that their tax dollars that have contributed to it and it is important for them to experience how great and beautiful our city is. And so thank you for all that you do. Do we have any topics for next month's meeting?
Councilmember Hancock, we'll be meeting with you ahead of that meeting to set that agenda. So I don't think I have anything to bring up right now, but we will be scheduling a meeting with you to go over the agenda prior to next month's meeting.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. This has been a very productive call. Do you have anything to add, Councilmember Medina, before we adjourn?
No, thanks again for all you do. As you know, I'm always going to hold you guys pretty dear, having worked for Pros. So great work. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so with that, I will give you 8 whole minutes of your time back. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And as always, you can reach out to me directly through the city website and through phone on my office mail if you have any questions, concerns, comments, ideas. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today, and everyone have a great day.